Welcome back to this Money Control live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita, Khemka, and my colleague.
Hello there, I am Yatin Mota.
Well, Yatin, it was a soft start to the day today, and it looked like we would have another down day, but the bulls did pop up around midday to say hi, and of course, we came back around that 24,300 mark. We didn't really manage to close above that level, but we had a good 80-point kind of an up move on the Nifty, so no complaints there. So we'll see whether or not we manage to extend this gain tomorrow as well or not, and cross that level of 24,350. Because I think that was the recent high that the Nifty made, and a close above that level will give us an indication whether or not this trend is here to stay or not. But aside of that, the mid and small cap indices continued to outperform yesterday as well. We had the small cap index and even the mid cap index outperforming the benchmarks today as well. The small cap index showed strength, gained in excess of 1% or so. Breadth was also strong in favor of gainers, and the VIX, India VIX also cooled somewhere around 4% or thereabouts. Energy, metals, autos, banks, these were some of the pockets that did well. Of course, we had some good news to really work with globally as well. Dollar index cooled off a bit. Of course, oil prices cooled off given the fact that there has been a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Lebanon, and that was of course the key reason why we saw a cool off in crude prices as well, which is why the energy pack was extra buoyant in trade. IT and pharma didn't do all that well. Yesterday IT was doing well. Today IT was among the laggards, and so was the PSU banking lot. In terms of individual movers, Adani stocks, Adani twins were the top gainers, Yatin. Some bit of clarification coming in from Adani.
Yeah, I think there was an important clarification, and if you look at the Adani group stocks, Adani Green made a disclosure to the stock exchanges that the corruption charges which the media interpreted in the DOJ order against Gautam Adani, Sagar Adani and other officials is not true. In fact, they went on to say that the charges of FCPA, there is a provision which is the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act in the US. Under those, acts, there are no charges against Gautam Adani and his nephew Sagar Adani. In fact, the DOJ indictment does not talk about corruption, being the primary charge on the Adani family. In fact, there are only 3 counts on which the company mentioned that securities fraud as well as wire fraud is something which will be looked into, and legal opinion as well as legal remedy will be sought in the matter. And after this, detailing came from the stock exchanges, most of the Adani group stocks rallied anywhere between 5 to 20%. In fact, stocks like Adani Power went up 20%, 10% higher for Adani Ports. Adani Enterprises, and Ambuja Cement also saw some good action. So the entire Adani pack saw some good market recovery after this clarification on the stock exchanges.
That's true. I think that's one trigger, and I think that's another reason that the markets did stage a good comeback around midday. Aside of that, what did well, Yatin, was BEL extends its winning streak. Yesterday as well, the stock was gaining even for the last 3 to 4 days. The stock has been buoyant. Aside of that, you had Trent, NTPC. Of course, we had the NTPC green listing, which popped up after a 3% premium. We saw the stock hit 10% or so. Bajaj Finance was the other one. On the losing end, you had Apollo Hospitals, Titan, some of the tech names like Wipro. Shriram Finance as well, which had been gaining, was under selling pressure today, and so was IndusInd Bank and Sun Pharma. But aside of Yatin, aside of Adani stocks, Yatin, which are the other stocks that did well?
So I think the advance decline ratio on the market was quite good, almost 3:2. If you look at the mid cap index, that was more than 0.5% higher, 1.5% kind of a gains for the small cap index. Stocks like Adani Power did well, 20% higher. Idea Cellular and Vodafone Idea, ever since the bank guarantee requirement has been waived by the government, stock has seen good price and volume action. Today 11% higher for Idea. Now if you look at other stocks on the gaining side, apart from Ola as well as the Adani group stocks, we had stocks like specifically like Idea Cellular, Aster DM 9% higher, Bharat Dynamics, GRSE. So the defense PSUs also were doing well in trade. What was not doing well in trade is ZF Commercial Vehicles. That stock was 14% down after WAPCO, its promoter, sold stake via block deals. According to sources, Prestige Estates down 5%. Uno Minda Fort is also witnessing some profit taking at high levels.
Well, those were the stocks that were, making moves in trade today. Of course, defense, shipbuilding, these stocks continue to be on an upward trajectory. But aside of that, let's take a look at some of the stocks that are on our radar this afternoon. Starting with one of the top losers on the Nifty 500 index, Yatin, Prestige Estates. Shares took a knock of 5% or thereabouts on the back of a downgrade coming in from Morgan Stanley. Of course, the shares did see renewed optimism, on the back of Maharashtra poll results. They saw a rally on hopes of a pickup in the bottlenecked infra projects in Maharashtra after the BJP's, Mahayuti's rather victory in Maharashtra polls. But there was a spanner in the works for that, given the fact that Morgan Stanley, as I said, has downgraded the stock to underweight from overweight. Target price has been cut to 1510 from 1770 rupees, which is a 15% scale back from the earlier target. Earlier in May, the target price was increased from 1400 to 1770, but now of course it has been brought back to 1510. The brokerage has cited weak pre-sales momentum here and has also said that the company in fact delivered pre-sales growth of 63% in FY24, but managed to achieve just about 29% in the first half of FY25. And Prestige in fact reported pre-sales of just over 7,000 crore rupees in the first half of FY25. So the pre-sales estimate for FY25 has been cut to 9% from earlier projection of 28%. That's a significant scale down. That's because of the fact that of course the company has missed its FY25 target by quite a wide margin. And aside of that, the underweight rating from Morgan Stanley also reflects higher capex of the company on its IP business, and of course the weakening pre-sales momentum vis-a-vis its other peers. Looking at the stock, Yatin, it has been up somewhere around 37% so far this year, but over the last 6 months the stock has clearly lost momentum. It has given flat 2% or something kind of returns in the last 6 months, and it had only 3 new launches in the second quarter. But despite this, the management is confident of achieving 25 to 30,000 crore rupees in gross sales bookings for FY25, driven by its high value projects in Mumbai and Delhi NCR. As it expands its presence beyond South India. But for now, weakening pre-sales momentum seems to be the key reason why the global brokerage has downgraded the stock.
And I think Prestige Estates, ever since they have looked out of Bangalore, the Mumbai market, they had tie-up with DB Realty in Delhi also, they are looking at projects. So I think a lot of that pre-sale number given by the management depends on the success that they get in terms of pre-sales in Mumbai as well as in Delhi market. So yes, beyond Bangalore, let's see how the company really performs. Today, after the downgrade, the stock moved down 5%. What was hot in trade today, or rather top gear, was Ola Electric. Citi had initiated target of 90 rupees with a buy. Today, the stock itself, traded at 90 rupees. Stock was up 20%, locked in upper circuit after Citi, initiated coverage, and not only that, the company has done a few product launches. On the back of that, also we saw some good momentum coming in. Now, if you talk about Ola, Citi believes that the penetration of electric vehicles in India is right now only 6% versus that of China, which is 85%, especially in the two-wheeler space. So there is a very big headroom for electric vehicle penetration in India. Not only that, Ola is trying to get volumes back. They are looking at new launches as well as backward integration with manufacturing of battery packs also, which will not only get them scale but also help them cut down on cost, which will be margin accretive moving forward. They prefer Ola over Bajaj Auto and TVS when it comes to the two-wheeler players. Obviously, they have a buy rating on Eicher Motors as well as Hero MotoCorp. But in terms of preference, they prefer Ola over Bajaj Auto as well as TVS Motors. The company has a 38% market share in electric vehicle scooters, and probably that is one unique point which attracts a lot of brokerage attention. Company is valued by Citi nearly at 4 times to EV on sales basis. Obviously, the company is not profitable, so EV sales is one multiple that Citi has chosen when it was valuing Ola Electric at 90 rupees. But clearly, after new launches as well as a big brokerage report, the shares of Ola have tried to recover. Almost 90 rupees a piece is where Citi sees the stock price.
Well, Ola racing away, on the back of new launches as well as that City's buy call on the stock and upgrade in target price as well. But aside of that, another stock that's on my radar today is from the IT pack, Yatin LTIMindtree. This is one stock, that in fact stands to gain from Trump's victory, given the fact that some bit of strength is expected in the US BFS sector on the back of the corporate taxes that has been promised by Trump, which could in fact brighten the earnings outlook for companies over there, and which could result in higher deal TCVs also for our Indian companies. But LTIMindtree, aside of all this, had an analyst meet recently, and the management has some ambitious plans which they have laid out. They've said that they are aiming to achieve $10 billion in revenue by 2031 to 2032, vis-a-vis a $4.3 billion revenue in FY24. Management in fact is hopeful of achieving the $10 billion revenue target on the back of acquisitions as well as on an organic basis. This is by FY32, of course. The focus will be on scaling up the BFSI as well as tech segments and doubling them. And of course, the company also plans to grow manufacturing, resources, healthcare, life sciences and consumer verticals to 3x of the current size. There will be a strategic shift or pivot towards AI as well, by infusing AI in all of the core services to drive efficiencies as well as enable a better customer experience. The company also plans to mine 500 Fortune 500 companies further. It has 105 clients as of now. And of course, they have also emphasized that double-digit growth will be critical to achieve 17 to 18% EBIT margin band. Some of the factors that they have also flagged off is that discretionary spend has not yet returned, and clients will be setting their budgets in the coming months with US elections out of the way. So that's one key point that IT firms are really waiting for, as to whether or not there will be a comeback in discretionary spend by clients or not. But of course, as I mentioned, there are hopes of higher deal values as Trump delivers on its corporate tax cut promises. So we'll see how that really pans out. But brokerages have mixed views on LTIMindtree. They have flagged off the ongoing challenges in discretionary spending that could weigh on near-term growth for the company. In fact, Nomura has a reduced call. Target price has been kept at 5,140 rupees per share. They've of course pointed out that the plans that the company has laid out at its analyst meet, and they've said that sales they are gearing up for sales engine for the next round of growth, and double-digit growth will be critical, as the company has also mentioned. But on the other hand, you had Morgan Stanley. They have an overweight rating on the stock. Target price is at 7,050. They've also mentioned that discretionary spend is still elusive. Sales engine, although for the company, is showing decent momentum, and deal pipeline will be strong, and new logo additions will also work well. So yes, the plans are pretty ambitious. But if discretionary spends come back, and the US BFS sector strengthens, and we have higher deal TCVs going forward, then who knows, the target may be achievable within the time range.
Absolutely, and LTIMindtree, the pipeline looks good, and this is one IT stock which is trying to consolidate its position when it comes to large ticket deals.
Well then, that was the last stock on our radar this afternoon. We've had a good day after a soft start. Let's see how things pan out tomorrow. But the good thing is that FIIs were net buyers for a second straight session, Yatin. Let's see what the figures throw up today. But that's also come as a relief for our markets. But with that, we are completely timed out. Thanks a lot for tuning into Closing Bell. Stay tuned to Money Control for all your other news and updates, and join us again tomorrow morning.